Mike Nolan has just been pushed off a bridge. Jim Tomsula was tied at the hip and was connected with Mike Nolan when Mike Nolan got pushed off a bridge. So by default, when Mike Nolan fell off, Jim Tomsula was also pushed off the bridge. Yes. So this video isn't going to be incredibly long because I think we're all, we all have the same idea here. We're all simpatico on how we feel about Mike Nolan, but just a couple of my thoughts because I just want to put my thoughts out there. Just want to put some of my thoughts out there. How hard will it be to be better than 32nd? How hard will it be to be better than the worst defense in the league? And I will say that, somebody's going to tap me on the shoulder. Well, Voch, we got 10 turnovers in the last, 3 or so games or whatever, right? Well, and those last few games, and we won those games. This would have been a really good tank job if we didn't get those turnovers. But we won those games against the Giants, the sorry Eagles, the 49ers, the Cincinnati Bengals. These were bad teams, ladies and gentlemen. And we put up good defensive performance against those bad teams because that's what you're supposed to do against bad teams. Those teams were begging to turn the football over. When we played the Bengals and they just kept putting the football on the ground, they were begging for us to get the football back. I thought they was tanking. It was so apparent. So I don't want to put it in a situation like, did we get better in the last 4 games of the season enough to give Mike Nolan like another shot at it? No, because even though we beat San Francisco, they still got 500 total yards on us. Jalen Hurts was, still he still had like a 300 plus yard day. We just happened to have won those ball games. Andy Dalton kept it on wheels or whatever, and we was able to pull it out. But this goes into a couple of things, right? This goes into, and we never want to shout the front office off, but shout the front office out. But Voch is going to do it. We saw a problem and we fixed it. The places where we were, and they not done, by the way, so let's just get that straight. But the places where they had the most problems was defense as a whole and on the D line. So if Tomsula is going to be the issue, and if Mike Nolan is going to be the big picture issue, then why not get rid of both those guys? It makes sense to me. Also, this seems to be like a very Dak Prescott move, because if you tap Voch on the shoulder, on this shoulder in particular, and you say, yo, Voch, how do we prepare this team for Dak Prescott when he come back? Let me just give y'all a war call for that one time. You can have whatever you like. Yeah. But what do we do to prepare for Dak Prescott when he comes back, right? Well, you want everybody to be healthy. You want to make sure your left and your right tackle are good to go. You want to make sure your right guard's in good shape. Left guard's going to be figured out, but whoever ends up playing left guard, they should be fine. You want your tight end and Blake Jarwin to be good to go, but then you want the defense to not be 32nd in most categories in defense. And I don't want nobody to be like, well, Voch, we actually in this stat in particular, we were actually middle of the league. I don't care. The whole product wasn't good enough. And that is what that is. So if Dak Prescott is going to be coming back, you want your defense to be on tack. And listen, man, and let's just be fair about expectations. I doubt in 1 year we're going to be the best defense in the league. I'm not even saying that. I'm not even saying we're going to be top 10. I ain't going to say that we're going to be top 15. But if we can simply take the worst defense I've ever seen in my life, I'm only 28 years old, but if we take the worst defense I've ever seen in my life and simply turn it into the 22nd best defense, then I think that's good enough to put hands on teams in the league, considering what we're going to do on offense. Another reason this is super important, because the draft is coming up, right? So we kind of need to know who the hell we're going to be drafting, right? If I can put this in draft terms or whatever, it's a difference between drafting, if you draft a Marvin Wilson, the tackle from Florida, you can put him in a 1-tech and play 3-tech sometimes. But if you're going to be playing, 3-4, you may want a guy like Tyler Shelvin is going to be a full-blown 0 type guy for you. So I think you need to make these decisions now so that you know the type of guy that you need. If you want to look at D end, if you're playing 4-3, then a guy like Kwity Paye from Michigan would be a more attractive name for you. But if you're playing 3-4, then you may look at a guy like Azeez Ojulari to be a stand-up outside linebacker type guy for you. He's the edge guy from Georgia. So I think this, if anything needed to happen quickly, I think defensive coordinator needed to happen today so that we know what to do when moving forward. Because we're evaluating these prospects, we need to know who to put the premium on because we need to know how that's going to fit us directly. If I had to cut Mike Nolan some bail real fast, because I always find a way to be fair on both sides. It's not like we had Aaron Donald playing in the middle on defense. It's not like we had Jalen Ramsey, Khalil Mack, some top tier guy on defense. But actually, let me do this. This was a fun exercise that I did the other day. Our lads, Colts. Doug Eberflus was a linebacker coach here for the Cowboys. He went over to the Colts. They're a top 5 defense in the league. And on their defense, they got Kimoko Toure. I remember him from Rutgers. They got DeForest Buckner. They went to trade for him. Grover Stewart, old man Justin Houston, Zaire Franklin, Anthony Walker, Darius Leonard. Shouts out to him. Rock Ya-Sin, cornerback from... It was one of them little schools. Temple. There you go. Cornerback from Temple. Draft guy Voch. Tavon Wilson, Julian Blackman. I remember him. And washed Xavier Rhodes. You know what I mean? So he's able to make a top 5 defense out of a really good interior guy, a really good linebacker, a corner that you drafted somewhere in the middle, and a bunch of civilians. You know what I mean? He made that defense out of that. Meanwhile, we got guys we feel really good about. You know what I mean? Relatively guys that we feel really good about from a name perspective, or at least the work that they've put in. D-Law, Randy, Leighton Vander Esch. You can hate on Leighton Vander Esch and Jalen Smith all you want to, because I'm also in that Jalen Smith hate train, but they were good once upon a time. Jordan Lewis was good once upon a time. Diggs is coming around. Cheeto was good once upon a time. Don't ask me about safety play. But even Xavier Woods wasn't terrible at some point, and we have a gift in Donovan Wilson. I think that's a team. That team ain't filled with scrubs. That team may not be as Pro Bowl as we want it to be, but they're not filled with scrubs. So if you ask me, what do I want at DC? I'm not the guy that goes and watch film and figures out who the next big coaching prospects are. That's not my bag. But what I want is I want a young coach that's going to be obsessed over this, kind of like we did on offense, right? Kind of like how Doug Eberflus was before we let him walk out the door, right? I think the older coaches the more they get content and they just stay in their own way. I think the best coaches are the ones that get obsessed and just stay up late and have the energy to watch a college football championship game and be like, oh, I want to take that play from them. I want to do this innovative thing on defense. I want to give these weird looks up front and find a way to implement that into my team. Oh, they got an edge player on this team that looks just like an edge player on my team. Let me find creative ways to get that done. Older coaches don't always get that done. Older coaches are more so stuck in their way. I want a coach that's younger with the energy to go out there and just be 22nd. Be 20th, be 18th, and I'll be happy. Later on we can continue to build. And I think that's another interesting point that I just thought about, right? It's 2 ways to look at how you want to use your DC. Short game, then long game. Long game, I want you to build towards something that can be a top 5 defense. Sure, that's what we all want. But as of today, I just need you to be serviceable, right? If you go back to the Parcells era, he wanted to transition into a 3-4 defense, but we had 4-3 guys. We didn't just run directly into a 3-4. We slow burned it, right? But that year we needed those 4-3 guys. If we were going to win games, if we were going to be a playoff team, we need those 4-3 guys to be serviceable. Then when we make our big draft moves into the future and we get our 3-4 guys, then we can be more of a top 10 defense or whatever. So I think whoever this DC is that we have moving forward, man, let's hope that they are obsessed. Let's hope that they can figure this thing out. Let's hope that they're good enough and creative enough to get stops and to get turnovers and to be relatively better on defense with some of the civilians that we kind of have. And then you could take some of the better star players that we have and let's super elevate those guys. And hopefully we can get a good product. I don't think we're that far away. I think we're a Super Bowl team because it's an offensive league, and what we have on offense is crazy. We crazy on offense, right? We just need enough to not have somebody rush for 400 yards on us, or rush for 3 touchdowns, or for Nick Mullins to bust the door wide open, or for Kyle Allen with the Washington football team to bust the door wide open, or Hurts is fine. I don't know. But just the Giants, like going into the Giants game, like for 16 weeks, they were the worst scoring offense in the league. And all of a sudden, they started beating the shit out of Cowboys on offense. You know what I'm saying? If you just give me a guy that can make that not happen, Voch will be good to go. All right, just wanted to put my quick thoughts and opinions out there, man. Go in the comment section, tell me yours. I'm actually going to be in the comment section pretty heavy, and I'm also going to go on YouTube and see what some of my YouTube cohorts are saying about this. So I'm going to be active on YouTube today, so go in the comment section. I would love to react to y'all. We do draft work nowadays, so we got a draft show every Wednesday with me and Jeff Kavanaugh. The Scout Cast is fire, and then we have Lombardi's Draft Talk that'll just happen throughout the week. You may get 1 to 3 episodes of that. I'll upload film. Go check out my Patreon where I'm uploading even more film. So appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss nothing. Y'all hold it down for the Doski, Woski, and the Peasky Whiskey, man. Peace.